Up in the land of crazy. Back up with the crazy bitches. So, I didn't get to finish up. I got cut short. See, my car's nice and clean. I cleaned my car for my wife today. Today's her birthday. We're supposed to go shoot guns, but she wasn't feeling it. Had to take her to the hospital again to get some dope in her, so she can make do until she has her appointment with her gyno Monday. She's got a mass in her 2-point-something centimeters, right? So she's going through a lot of shit. And today's her birthday. Like I said, we were supposed to go shoot off our guns, but we didn't get a chance to. She didn't get out of hospital at 3:30. Place closes at 5. So that's where we're at. We're on our way to the store to get her some birthday cake, etc., etc. Try to find somewhere cooler to put this thing. Let's see if it's possible. Will that work? No. Will that work? Is that gonna work? Let's see if that's gonna work. Anywho, where we left off last time was introducing some of my boys, Tony and Manny, and they're all crazy dudes, right? Crazy like me, and even a step above. Every one of them's maniac in their own ways. We're all friends from a young age. They all been running streets, etc., etc. So, but these are some interesting characters. These are some interesting dudes. They all have their own sort of stories to tell. Tony worked at a place, one of these places that you store shit, and Tony knew where these drug dealers were hiding weed in. These Mexican drug dealers were hiding shit. He wound up finding a trash bag full of weed and 60 grand when he was in high school. This is Tony's backstory, right? Tony's one of the guys along with him. We knew Deezy's boys. Tony's also the same guy that got in a fight at Hooters, if you've seen that video with Rocky, my neighbor. So these are all lovely characters that got a lot of colorful characters, right? So everyone all had their backdrops and their stories. So Manny was one of the dudes from him, one of the guys from that clique. And so I know these guys, I explained how I met through Anthony years ago, but they all do the type of work I do, remodeling, and they've all worked for Anthony. Manny has too. I've worked with each and every one of those guys on different jobs, mainly through Anthony, and other jobs through other people. So we were all, ran in the same circles, and Manny ran with that circle. Manny was a heroin addict. Manny was a heroin addict long before any of us were. I met Manny and went a long time ago, way back then, right? Well, when I got out of jail at the time for spanking my kids with a belt, I wound up doing this real big, huge job, right? I do this job in a country club of the South, the Polo Fields, this la-di-da upscale neighborhood. I wound up painting. Me and Manny talked these people into painting the whole entire side of their house. And this is like massive, huge, right? One of these several $million houses. 3 triple tray ceilings in their living room. Imagine that. 3 triple tray ceilings, if you know what that is and means, in just their living room. That gives you an idea of how big this house was. Freaking enormous, right? So me and Manny were on that job together. Manny was strung out on dope. I had to cover for Manny on this job. I was the lead on this job, but Manny wasn't holding his own. There were days that Manny was dope sick, sat out in his car, didn't do nothing all day, right? This was the norm for Manny. He was one of these kind of do his own way kind of guys, right? So, like I said, Manny had been on dope for many, many years, even before the rest of us had gotten on dope. I can remember before I was even steadily heavy on pills, Manny was on pills. Manny fell off a ladder and just messed up his back and his legs and this and that, right? So Manny was my pill dude back in the day. Manny was going to the doctor and getting Roxy's way back in the day. Manny was in all kind of shit, right? Manny was a big dealer at himself at one point, as of like the rest of us. Got caught up in it, got the best of him. He had a baby's mama. They split apart, so she starts putting him in jail. Manny's going to jail now for child support. Oh, shit. So, Manny's now is a dope dealer. So now Manny gets a wop fronted from Smooth, right? Whatever it was $1,800. Manny gets $1,800 worth of shit money fronted from Smooth. Doesn't pay Smooth. Doesn't even bother calling Smooth. I guess Manny thinks he's just gonna slide, right? I guess Manny thinks he's not gonna pay Smooth. In Manny's world, I don't know in what world that is, but I don't know what he was thinking. But Manny's car broke down, and he took the money, the dope money. He took the $1,800 worth of dope, whatever, turned it in, and got his car fixed, right? With Smooth's dope, with the money he owed Smooth. He goes and gets his car fixed on that money. Smooth comes to Deezy and's telling him, because now Deezy's hooking Smooth up with everybody pretty much. So now Smooth calls Deezy, tells him the deal. Manny owes me money. I need to know where he lives. Let's load up. We're going. You're gonna show me Manny. You're gonna take me to Manny. Manny's dipping Smooth's phone calls, all that, right? So, like I say, Manny's not answering Smooth's phone calls. Smooth gets a hold of Deezy, goes and picks Deezy up. Got some of his boys, some of his hot boys. He's got some of his shooters with him. They go to Manny's apartment, his townhouse. And Deezy has called ahead and is telling Manny that he needs some boy, right? So Deezy goes to Manny's door, knocks on the door. Manny thinks Deezy is coming to get some dope from him. So he opens the door, and when he does, Smooth and his boys grab Manny and they pull him outside, right? They grab Manny, they yank him out of his own house, put him down against his building, and put guns to his head, right? Smooth and his boys have now got 2 pistols aimed at Manny's head. And he said, you got about a total of 5 minutes before I paint the side of your house with your brains. You got about 5 or 10 minutes to make that happen. Went in his house, whatever he did. The rest of that story was I don't remember to a T exactly how and what, but that was the story. And I know that he got his money back immediately, even with the fact that he had gone and fixed his car with that money. I guess he flipped some shit, whatever. He must have had money or more dope, whatever the case was. Smooth got his right then and there. And if Manny wouldn't have had his shit, it would have ended badly, obviously, for Manny. He wouldn't be with us today. This is one of, like I said, these are some of these stories. This is the shit that was going on in these days of when I was using. This was the day-to-day shit that you would hear. Like I say, these are introductions to these characters and these people I used to run with. There's years of stories of and each of these guys were involved Like I said, I used to run with these guys. Damn, I'm in public and smells like so much shit. What was that? But these were the dudes that I ran with. This is what these dudes was into. This is what kind of shit was going on. I was seeing and hearing all the time about people getting robbed. People not having the dope man's money. People not having deezy's money. Me having to help and go collect. Because deezy would have money out. And me being his boy. It was just scratch my back, I scratch yours. And so deezy didn't have a car, or he didn't have, never had a license, right? And being the, that he doesn't get his license and all that straight, I've always been the driver, so I do the driving, I keep the cars straight and filled up, and I'm always having a car that's a little less inconspicuous than the other people he rides with, right? During these days, I had a 2007 Toyota Tacoma. That was brand spanking new. And so he would ride with me because, my car, I had that. And then after that, I got my 2017 CRV. But everything I drive doesn't flash and